girls rescue, met the bar, witness said. Tears fled the head, I'm waiting, I guess she tweet. I guess she confess, she thinking less, not drinking less. Bathroom says, best to get spontaneous. Our stereotype, put to rest tonight. Imagine, believe, and achieve, it works. Skyline as I rise like fireworks.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to After the Storm. I'm your host, Matt Clark. We're talking about the Thunder Bulls tonight. The Thunder lost 110, 111, falling to 14 and 32. First of all, I want to apologize for missing the other night, Friday night, but one of my very good friends, it was his 50th birthday, and I thought the game was Sunday against the Cavs, not Saturday. And right in the midst of having some fun, it flips. My Thunder thing came on and reminded me that I had a Thunder game, and I was like, "Oh crap!" But at that time, I had been drinking, and even though I went to Rococo's to try to watch the second half, and I did watch the second half and sober up a little bit, I did write some notes. But my good friend Mike Deba was telling me that if I didn't see the whole game, then don't lie to your fans and to the people who are watching and say that you saw a game that you did not see. Because how can you analyze a game that you did not see? And I said, well, really easy because I've watched them enough to know that we were only down two at half, which meant I could look at the stats and say this is what happened and look at who's scoring. And I could tell you what we did. But my good friend Mike, that you all know, if y'all know Deba, you know how he is. His world is black and white. There's no gray in his world whatsoever. So he was right. I decided not to perpetrate a fraud and try to tell you some things and talk about something that I did not see. And one thing about this, we're going to always be honest with you and always tell you the truth and tell you what happened and not try to sugarcoat it. So anyway, that being said, wanted to welcome back Billy Donovan to Paycom Center, but of course it was not the Paycom Center while he was coaching here in Oklahoma City. And they got Zach LaVine back tonight after DeMarco Rosen didn't play, and of course uh, Alex Caruso, former Laker, was hurt, fractured his wrist because of the dirty punk. I really want to use some bad language. Grayson Allen the other night on a just horrible flagrant two foul that he only got 1 game suspension, whereas Alex Caruso is going to miss 6 to 8 weeks, which is going to hurt the Bulls. But anyway, I'm not going to digress. We will talk about that tomorrow morning on the Unpopular Hour, and we'll talk about the NBA and what they should be doing about guys like that who are dirty and who are just a flat out punk. Anyway, my keys were simple. We need to control Zach LaVine, force him into taking some bad shots because he's very athletic. He can run, he can jump, he can shoot, he can defend, he can go to the basket. He's got all the tools, but all we can do is make his life rough. And in the first half, we were not doing that, but all you could do is just keep staying on him, keep staying on him. And Lou Dort did a great job of forcing him in and being really physical with him. And of course, the same thing with SGA when he guarded him, and Giddey when he guarded him, and Wiggins when he guarded him. They did a good job of forcing him into some bad shots the second half, which we'll talk about that. Also, we needed SGA to get off to a good start. He had another 30-point performance tonight. And then we have to play within ourselves because, like I've talked about many times, what happens with the Thunder is that if we get down, everybody all of a sudden thinks they're an offensive threat. You've got Dort trying to go do things he can't do. You got Baisley trying to do things he can't do. You got Kendall Williams doing things he can't do. You got everybody pressing instead of just playing within themselves and letting the game come to them. And we'll talk about that as well. And then also three-point shooting, once again, our Achilles heel down the stretch, but we'll talk about that as well. But anyway, we start off with my favorite lineup tonight, SGA, Giddey, Robinson, Earl, Dort, and Wiggins. I love the starting lineup. I wish that we would continue that through the second half, but Coach D has his own way of doing things as far as starting people in one half and not starting them in the other, but, whatever. But the fact that we got the Bulls on a back-to-back night, that was our advantage right there. So we had Rosen not playing, Caruso not playing, Zach LaVine's first time back, Bulls playing on back-to-back. So I thought it'd be a good chance for the Thunder to kind of sneak and maybe get one. But that did not happen, falling by one to the Bulls 110, 111 to 110. But I wanted us to be more aggressive to the basket. Don't settle for threes. You know how I've been harping on that. I want us to stay aggressive. Take the mid range. Go take the easy shot. Do the teardrop. Do the floater, and be aggressive. And just gotta, just if we shoot threes, I don't mind us shooting threes, but as long as it's in transition, off a steal or in the midst of the offense where we're running and we're wide open, yeah, you got to shoot it. But at the same time, it's when you're shooting them and what you're doing. Okay. So anyway, the Thunder did not do a good job of anything that I talked about this first half, and it was 27-32. Now, after they subbed, they went on a 10-2 run on us after we subbed. After we got our first group out, brought in the second group, they went on a run with us, and a 10-2 run to get up 27-35. We were 4 for 8 from three, which is good. They were 5 for 10 for three. And you remember, the Bulls are the most efficient shooting team in the NBA. Why? They do not shoot a lot of threes. They're not like the Jazz, who are the most prolific three-point shooting team in the NBA. They do not shoot a lot of threes. That's not what they do. They want to kill you from mid-range. They want to get good, easy baskets. They want to knock down, because what does knocking down easy shots, mid-range shots do? Cuts down on transitional baskets, because the more threes you shoot, the ball is longer, which means the more opportunities for transitional baskets to get teams to flow. And the Bulls have that's not really their forte, and that's not really what they do. So, but anyway, Thunder down 27-35 after the first quarter. Second quarter came out. Bulls, man, they were just so efficient on us. I mean, absolutely efficient, and just beating us up one way or another. But what we did is we played good perimeter defense. We allowed them not to get too far. We came back on them. We made some nice runs. Our D was much, much better. And that's part of it. When we play good defense, we can hold the team. We keep them close. We don't let them stretch out and start making shots. Because once we start making threes or start shooting threes, then all of a sudden the other team gets us in transition to make a couple easy backs. They get flowing. And this is the NBA, like I've talked about many times. Teams are very athletic, and they can get up and down the floor. So you got to be really, really patient and really understand who you're playing against, what are their strengths, who are their shooters, who are the guys that are athletic and who just want to get to the basket. So identifying that and identifying our matchups. I thought the Thunder did a great job in the second quarter doing that, not allowing them to get out ahead of us, which kept the score to 48-58. And in that quarter, we were 3 for 11. They were 1 for 4. Okay? So that meant we were 7 for 19 overall in that quarter, or for that half. Not going to get it done. But on the other side, that being said, it's not bad. Dang near 40-something%. If we could shoot that on a continual basis, it would be bad. But anyway, 3 for 11 after going 4 for 8. It just killed us and killed the flow, because every time we'd make a kind of run, we'd come up and take a couple bad threes. All of a sudden, boom, you're back out of it once again. Okay, and that's what I keep harping on it over and over and over and over and over, that you guys got to take good shots. You just can't stand it just because it's a three, shoot it. Because there's a play earlier that Wiggins was wide open for three. He caught it, attacked the basket, made a nice layup because we hadn't scored, and he did a good job of getting us a basket in the third quarter, because that's what you got to do. You got to attack, okay? You got to attack. Just because it's a three don't mean you have to shoot it, especially if the lane's wide open. Kendall Williams did that late in the third quarter or fourth quarter. Instead of taking a three, went to the basket, got a layup. Look what happened, brought the Thunder within close. But for the most part, we're going to stand out there and shoot threes. Even though we cannot shoot threes, we continue to do it. Don't understand that. Don't get it, even though I know why they do it. I mean, I guess I do understand why they do it, because that's analytics and that's what it tells you. But when you don't have guys who can shoot the three, don't do it. San Antonio doesn't have guys that can shoot the three proficiently. What do? They do not shoot a lot of threes. What does the Bulls do? They don't shoot a lot of threes. What do both these teams have in common? They're not in the last places in their respective divisions. And, of course, the Bulls are one of the top 4 teams. And like I said, that group between the Nets, the Bulls, the Heat, and the Nets, the Bulls, the Heat, and the Bucks, there's only a 1 game separating first to fourth. Why? Because all of those teams are proficient inside. They don't shoot a lot of threes, and they just take advantage of the opportunities. Now, except for the Nets. The Nets shoot a lot of threes because they've got guys who can shoot it with Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Kyrie. They've got guys who can shoot the basketball. So that's what they do. But those other teams, they don't really shoot a lot of threes. They're mainly proficient in twos, and they will shoot threes when they have to. But they're like, hey, let's get a good shot. Let's get a good shot. Let's knock down that mid range. And they stay in games and stay in games. And of course, they have Giannis. One has Giannis. One has Jimmy Butler. One has DeMarco Rosen. And one has the best trio in the NFL, in the NBA, in the net. So, start the third quarter. My keys were simply get off to a good start, get some easy transition baskets off of turnovers to get us in a flow and get us in a rhythm. Defend the paint just because Vukovic, he just killed us tonight. He just, you have no answer for a guy that's 6'10", who can handle the ball, great hands. He's a lot like the Joker, who of course I'm talking about the reigning MVP from Denver. He's a lot like him, just great hands. He can shoot the three, makes good passes, but he's 6'10", 7 foot. What do you do? He just pounds us inside, and we have no big guy, even though Diakite, I really like him, and he's doing good, and he's trying, but he's just raw. It's gonna take time for this young man to develop. And like I said, hopefully the Thunder will bring him back and get him in a 10-day, or just go ahead and sign him, because I know we're gonna bring him back for another 10-day contract. I'm pretty sure we will, and then hopefully sign him towards the rest of the year, because if we don't, somebody else will, based on the stuff that he's put on tape. But like I said, come out the second half. Coach D does not start the same guys. He comes out, he starts Muscala instead of Robinson Earl. And what happens? Miss three, miss three, miss three. Our first 4 shots coming out were threes. I didn't understand that. I didn't understand that. We just came out shooting 3 after 3 after 3. You're in the game and you come out and all of a sudden you start shooting threes. What do? Long rebounds. They get in transition. The Bulls go on an 11-4 run to start the third quarter. They're off and running. So what do we have to do? We have to turn around and we've got to make plays. Okay, we've got to stop them on the defensive end. We've got to get some transitional baskets. And we started out 1 for 8 from 3. 1 for 8 from 3. It's not going to get it done, guys. We're not a three-point shooting team, but yet he comes out, he wants to shoot. He comes out, shoots a 3. He comes out, guys. But a lot of that I put on SGA. Dude, you got to continue to attack the basket. But he's exhausted. Because he's in full mode, full attack mode. Attack, then kick it out. But what we did is, tonight, Dort made a great job of cutting to the basket. Giddey had a couple cuts to the basket. When he's driving, hey, cut to the basket, because your guy, and I taught all my kids, if your guy turns his head, you attack the basket immediately. And we did that, and when SGA was in full attack mode, we had somebody cut, and he hit the guy every single time for a nice, easy layup. Why? Because he's in full attack mode. They're too busy watching him. Our guy cuts to the basket, and Giddey is very good at moving without the basketball. So we need to maybe work on that. Have guys move without the basketball more instead of standing around watching, waiting for him to kick it out to a 3 that you can't shoot. And we'll go over the stats for that here in a little bit on what happened with all the threes. But anyway, they go on 11-4 run. Then he comes in with SGA, Robinson Earl, Mann, Williams, and Bays. And we were down 28 in the quarter. And what did the Thunder do? Went on a run. And it all started defensively. And then they started shooting threes, which is very uncharacteristic of them. They start shooting threes, they're kicking, boom, we're coming back at them. And then we cut the lead to 78-94 from 28 points down. And of course, they knocked down that lucky half-court 3, whatever. But we had gone on a 20-5 run simply because we stopped them defensively. We got in transition. We made some threes in transition, and we went 3 for 4 on our last, 3 for 3 in that to knock down some threes because we're in transition. Once you get in rhythm, threes are a lot easier to make. But when you're just standing out there cold thinking you're going to come out there and shoot, you're not going to do it, guys. That's just not what you do, okay? You got to come back and work on that and get that done. But got a 3 at the end. that cut it to a 20-8 run, and it looked like it demoralized us just a bit because you could see SGA's head drop after they made that three, and he's just like, I can't really repeat what he said, but he did. But anyway, we come out in the fourth quarter, okay, and my thing with Jerome and Muscala, if they're not knocking down threes, they're just gonna kill you because they can't defend, they can't guard them. But we got lucky tonight because the Bulls, for whatever reason, did not attack Jerome when he was on the floor. They did not take advantage of those matchups at all, which allowed us to do the things that we needed to do to get back in the game. And so we came back with the lineup that we had in there, and the score was 96 to 105 with 3:37 to go. Boom. SGA goes 1 for 2 from the free throw line. He gets a steal, gets a dunk, get a turnover by Levine. Then all of a sudden, missed three by Williams, a three by the Bulls. All of a sudden, you back up. Then Giddey comes down and he misses a three. Okay? And then Dort gets, attacks the basket, throws up a layup, misses, gets his ball back, goes up. Because it's funny because Elgin Baylor, who is one of the greatest power forwards to ever play the game, he used to say that when he didn't have a good shot attacking, he would shoot it in the crack between the rim and the backboard, that little crease in there, because when he shot it, he knew he would be the only one to get the rebound, and then he went 1 for 2 because he'd get a putback, and he'd have a rebound. So he shoots 50% and adds a rebound. So when he was kind of out of control, knew he wasn't going to make, he would miss on purpose, but to a spot so that he was the only one to get the rebound and go back up. So anyway, Dort does that, gets the rebound, goes back up, gets fouled, makes 1 of 2 layups. Then Josh comes up with a beautiful block on the other end. Jerome comes down, beautiful teardrop up and over Big Vukovic, and the Thunder were back in the game, and we went on a 19-3 run. Why? Started on the defensive end. Giddey got a block. SGA got a block on Vukovic. Jerome hit that teardrop, and all of a sudden, boom! Giddey cuts to the basket, gets a nice pass from SGA. Dort hit a three. Giddey comes back, gets another rebound. All of a sudden, it's 107-108 with 14.8 seconds to go. And the Thunder are right back in it. But like I said, it starts on the defensive end. Our perimeter defense, when we decide to lock somebody up, don't give up the easy baskets, don't give up easy shots, make them kick it out, get a hand in their face. Boom, they're missing threes, and we came back. So it's 107-109 with 9 seconds. And I'm like, 107, 109. I'm like, don't foul. And what does Dort do? Or 107, 108. What does Dort do? He reaches. And he fouls. And like Zach LaVine knocks down 2 free throws. 107, 110. SGA missed a three, which I had no problem with him missing. They come down, go 1 for 2. Then Muscala makes a non-3 shot, which cut it to 111 to 110, which meant nothing but, made the score look closer than what it was. But I don't have a problem with SJ missing a three. I'm glad that he took the last shot. I don't care. That's something, hey, young man, continue shooting. Continue putting the ball in your hands. Continue to put the team on your shoulders. I have zero problem with you missing the shot, because if anybody should have took it, it should have been you. Or if they double teamed you, then make a pass in order to get Muscala open for a three, or Jerome or Giddey. Any of those guys shooting, I would have been happy with, and even Dort tonight. But anyway, SGA had 31 and 10. He was 9 for 17 from the field, 2 for 5 from 3. Dort, 16 points, 3 for 5 from the 3. Robinson Earl, 12 points, 4 for 6 from 3. Muscala, 10 points, 4 for 11 from 3. Giddey, 9 points, 0 for 5 for 3. Williams, 0 for 1 from 3. So we ended up going 16 of 45 from 3 and 15 of 39 for the Bulls from 3, which allowed us to get back in the game because they're not a three-point shooting team. And even though they did, it's like not that you're shooting threes, it's when you shoot them. And when your legs are done and they're fading away, it's really hard. And they did make a big three at the end of the deal to send us up. When we was coming back on them, they did make a big three to get it. But at that same time, that being said, the Thunder did a fantastic job forcing them into shooting fadeaway threes. Their legs were tired because we made a run on them. They're trying to keep us up playing defense. You got in transition, and when you get in transition and the game gets tight, it makes you tired. And the Thunder did a great job of execution down the stretch, except for the Williams three, the Giddy three. I'm like, why are you shooting? Just attack the basket. You don't need a three. We're only down one. Or we're only down two. You don't have to shoot a three. Hey, go get a basket. Attack the basket. Maybe you can get an and one. So execution down the stretch, the Thunder did a pretty good job. I thought we could have did better in closing it out, but it did not end up that way. But I want to say I'm very proud of the Thunder. And like I said, we fall to 14-32 against the Bulls, but it was a great game for the boys. I'm really proud of them. We've got a really, really good team, even though we're 14-32. We're really not 14-32. I mean, we are, but we're much better than what our record is. Our record shows. And we are young, so we're losing a lot of games that I think we get a couple veteran players in trades or trade for picks, or maybe we can get in free agency this spring, draft a couple guys who can shoot the ball, get us a big guy that we can have at least some sort of presence in the paint. And I think we've got a very good team, a team that will be competitive and that could finish in the top five of the Western Conference. Okay, so I'm really pleased with it, and I wish people would go out. Don't just because you it's expensive. Don't not go watch the Thunder. Go watch their games. Give them support. By all means, they need it, and it's well worth it. I suggest you go watch them play. Go into games, and plus, get back in the habit of going to Thunders. Get back in the habit of enjoying the experience of going to the game, because it makes all the difference. It is fun. It's a good time. I miss it. But it's hard for me to go to the games, keep my notes, do everything I need to do. It's very difficult for me to do that, or I would be going to more games because I love the Thunder, and I love going to the games. So, but anyway, thank you for watching After the Storm with your host, Matt Clark, talking about the post-game analysis between the Thunder and the Bulls tonight. Boys played great, played their butts off. Really proud of what they did tonight. Peace out.